All right, it says I'm live. All right, hey, I'm getting coffee. I'll see you in 30. Oh, yeah. Yes. Oh, yeah. It's Friday night, and we get to talk about the NFL schedule release. We can talk about the draft. I have some really special bonus coverage for you, a special treat for you, a big time special treat. I'm exceptionally jacked up. Very, very jacked up. I am streaming to you live. I think I'm live here on Twitter. My computer's not let me see here. Am I on Twitter? It should be. Okay, I'm live here. Okay, sorry about that. Apologize. See here. Am I on Twitter? Should be live. Okay, all right. Hold on. There it is. Sorry about that. Okay. So anyway, here I am, ready to rock and roll. Twitter is not working. Why is Twitter not working? So, not really sure what's going on here with Twitter. Whoops. All right. Having some technical difficulties here. Bear with me. All right. So, anyway, technical difficulties here, but let's see. Hopefully, okay. I have no idea what's going on. All right, sorry about that. Some minor technical difficulties, but it should be good to go. I'm live to you on Facebook and I believe YouTube, but Twitter is a fail. I'm not really sure why. That's okay. That's okay. Man, I'm jacked up, man. Oh, Jimmy, it's going great. Jimmy, you picked the right show. You picked the right fucking show. I don't mind telling you, you picked the right show. You picked the right show. You don't want to miss it. You don't want to miss this show. Keep in mind, all my social media links are below. You can always email me to Jimmy. You picked the right show. Funk! Man. Oh, man, I'm glad to hear you from you, brother. True story. So there wasn't a show last week. I went down to Denver. I hit up Denver Gator, and he said, after watching your draft review video, I'd rather punch you in the face and meet you up for a beer. True story. He was not happy. Lots of people didn't like the draft video. Next year, I'm going to just do a live stream on Monday. I'm just going to go live Monday, break down my draft grades live. That way we can talk. So, Alex, man, what's up, brother? I apologize. I didn't realize that account with the NFL schedule. I didn't realize it was a phony account, just a guy trying to have some fun. I blocked him, so my apologies because I didn't. Well, it was real, man. I thought Chiefs and Texans were kicking the season off, man. My apologies to you and anybody else who follows on. Yeah, he was not happy. Yeah, he was not happy. Lots of people didn't like my draft video. I'm doing it live next year. I'm going to go over to draft live. That way we can go over things. I was looking forward to it. But I'm going to tell you something, man. The NFL did an A+ job. The schedule is amazing. I think they did as good of a job as you can get. Some people are happy. Some people aren't. But, yeah. I wouldn't want to hit you, but but if I would explain my, yeah, I know Lions fans weren't happy with the C- grade. The one thing I will say is that Jameson Williams, I've seen some social media of him. He's not even wearing a boot. He looks like he's moving around fine. That's the number one thing that I'm going to look for in Hard Knocks is how he is moving, if he's practicing, when he's going to be ready, because he needs to contribute sooner than later. Much sooner than later. Alex puts in Houston, obviously going to Super Bowl. You know what? there's a handful of teams in the AFC and the NFC that when I'm gonna start breaking down all the teams in July 18th. I'm gonna start breaking down all the teams, but the Houston Texans are a team that's an underdog that I really think people need to keep their eye out on. Pascal is a beast that we desperately needed. All right. I don't like the player. I hate the pick. All right, let me explain. If you get a stud in round 2, but he should have gone in round 3, it's still not a good pick. You can debate that's a good pick, but if you could have got the guy in round 3, you take the guy in round 3. Taking Pascal at 46 when I've gone over multiple mock drafts where he didn't even go in the first 3 rounds. I don't even know if he was a top 100 player. Taking him at 46 is a reach, and that's why I didn't like it. Pascal looks to be a good player. Now, I see a 3-4 outside linebacker. You're telling me he's going to bulk up, he's going to play a 5 technique. That makes it a worse pick because he's not going to contribute as much this year. But I do like the player. I just didn't like taking him at 46. So, but hey, look, if it pans out, I have no problem saying I'm wrong. I just thought that I personally just thought that you could have got him later in the draft, and moving up to draft a guy who's not going to contribute day one was a big mistake. So yeah. Alex puts, oh yeah, Dan, I didn't comment on the video, but I disagree on your Texans draft grade. It was an A draft. Okay, with the Texans draft, multiple problems with the Houston Texans. First of all, I like the players that they chose. Derek Stingley was my number 2 corner, or maybe 3. Definitely wasn't my number 1 corner. And taking him at 3, I thought was a reach. Day 1 starter, even if he goes to a Pro Bowl, I still think, you could have maybe traded down, got him later. Kenyon Green, player I absolutely love. Okay. Day 1 starter, maybe a Pro Bowler. I don't get, if you planned on taking a safety, why'd you pass on Hamilton? That to me doesn't make any sense. If you're going after a safety in the Tampa 2 defense, Kyle Hamilton's fits like a hand in a glove. Why don't you just take him at 13? That doesn't make any sense to me. And I don't think, even though I like Petrie and I know he's a local kid, I mean, I'm not sure how far Baylor is from Houston, so maybe local is not the right word, but didn't like that. I like the trade compensation. I got actually my notes here so I can go over that. I like the fact that you didn't give up that much to move back to 42, but Mechie's not I didn't think trading up for a guy who's injury prone or has an injury issue. Maybe, injury prone is probably not a good thing, but I didn't like that. I didn't like that at all. Not for Houston Texans, a team with a young quarterback, young receiving crew, not first time offensive coordinator, but a new offensive coordinator. I didn't like that. I don't get why, if you were going to pick a safety, why'd you pass on Hamilton? I don't get it. I don't get it. I think it's something, if Kyle Hamilton ends up balling out in Baltimore, you're going to take a hard look at yourself. So I thought Chiefs had a solid draft. Western Michigan is my alma. I didn't know that. That's awesome. So I see these guys like Sky Moore, one of my favorite picks in the draft. I mean, great value getting him at 54, traded down, got an extra 6-round pick, and then Sky Moore goes to a great spot in Kansas City. They're giving him number 24. I thought that was kind of cool. Kind of cool. Going to good teams, yeah. We gave up 250 yards to the ground to Philly. Have you seen Pascal play? Dudes played a 3-tech at 288. They're building fortune to win this year. They are taking their time. Okay. You can't take your time. Your head coach and general manager are on the hot seat, should be on the hot seat. They won 3 wins. You take a look at the Jets. The Jets had 2 picks in the first round, 2 picks in the second round. They get 4 day 1 starters. Lions get 1. It's not the same thing, but I like Pascal, but I saw an outside linebacker. I thought he would be a bulked up outside linebacker. But having a guy at 46, when you're the Detroit Lions and you're going to draft a guy at 46 and you're telling me he's not going to start day one, that's a swing and a miss, man. That's not a good thing. That's not a good thing. And you don't have that much time. You don't have that much time. So Tim says, Tim, by the way, man, he's going to the Chiefs Colts game in Indianapolis. I'm very jealous of that. Denver at Seattle week 1 is pretty sick. Wilson going in there and could get a huge win. Pretty cool, I think, from the schedule makers. I think it's a great move. And the story nobody's talking about, Drew Lock, Noah Fant, Shelby Harris were given up in that trade to get Russell Wilson. They get revenge. You could have 3 starters that were on Denver's team last year given up for Russell Wilson. Nobody's even talking about that. Great job by the schedule makers. Great job. I'm going to go into detail. By the way, the Hall of Fame game starts August the 4th, so we are less than 3 months away. Less than 3 months away. I'm going to go through the NFL schedule, but I'm not going to lie to you, man. My bonus content's actually better than my schedule content. You don't want to miss my bonus content. Slasher, what's up, brother, man? Oh, man, I'm jacked up. I was in Denver last week, had a fantastic time. I saw a bunch of Rams on an intersection. Never seen a Ram before. I was like, what the hell is this? And I saw the horns. I'm like, holy shit. I heard swarm, herd. I don't know. There's like 12, 15 of them right by an intersection. I was like, holy shit. Never seen a Ram before. It was really cool. Hamilton went to a perfect. Yeah, Hamilton, perfect. Yeah, Baltimore won the draft easily. Hamilton, perfect spot. Day 1 starter. Harbaugh is going to use him perfect. Great spot for him. I told you, LOL, I told you Sky Moore's going to look good in red. Oh, yeah, people in Kansas City are already calling him wide receiver number 1. I think it's a little premature, but they got Corey Coleman and great 12 minutes into the show and already had a brain freeze here. Both the guys from Baylor. Oh, God, I am so embarrassed. I forgot the guy's name. Josh Gordon. Okay, Josh Gordon. I'm sorry. Josh Gordon, Corey Coleman, both teammates at Baylor. Corey Coleman had a weird situation going on, but former first-round pick, signed as a free agent in Kansas City. You also got Josh Gordon. You got Sky Moore. You got MVS. You got Juju Smith-Schuster. And then the Chiefs' number 1 receiver will be Travis Kelce. But, yeah, a lot of people think Sky Moore is going to be number 1 receiver. I didn't even mention Miracle Hardman. The sooner he gets up to speed on the playbook, the better. But it's going. I can't wait for preseason. Yeah. When it comes to Petrie, I think that's how you spell it. Over Houston. Going for Hamilton, I can see why you get arguably the best cornerback in the draft. He'll stick to a wide receiver on number 1 on any team, and you get a short zone safety protect short passing game. You don't play Petrie downfield. He works perfectly in the short passing game. Yes, I agree with all those, but you have a guy who's got an injury history. Okay, that's number 1. Number 2, he's not ready to play right away, and that's something that you really need. When you have a young developing group, you need them to go ahead and develop together. You got Nico Johnson, who's got a world of talent. He's a raw prospect. You got Brandon Cooks, who's your veteran guy, but he's been injury prone. But when healthy, he's a stud, absolute monster. When you're the Houston Texans, you're a 4-win team. I think you need somebody who could contribute more day 1. You could have taken Sky Moore. You could have taken George Pickens. You could have taken Alex Pierce. All those guys would have been able to contribute right away. I don't know when Michi is going to be able to play. Then you got an injury past. And then you got to incorporate him into an offense when you already have a young offense trying to build and develop. I don't like doing that. So having a logger right now, watching some baseball, a great combination. Hey man, I'm glad you're here because I know it's baseball season, so I get it. I don't follow baseball at all. I could not name one baseball player, not even one. I'm just a football junkie, and I got the schedule in front of me, and I have some great bonus content you do not want to miss. I'm almost thinking that I'm almost thinking that my bonus content's actually better than going over the schedule, to be perfectly honest with you. They aren't on the hot seat. If they took a quarterback, the clock would have started. I don't know. I don't know how you have them on the hot seat. Golf is the built-in scapegoat for the rebuild. No. Okay, they absolutely are on the hot seat. You made a major trade. You traded from 32 to 12. Controversial pick, whether you want to admit it or not, and you won 3 games. You're absolutely not only is Dan Campbell on the hot seat, Brad Holmes is on the hot seat. And when you trade up 20 picks in the draft for a guy who may or may not even be able to start day one, you absolutely are on the hot seat. Both these guys are on the hot seat. And if the Lions win 3 games again, which I don't think they will, but if they do win 3 games, both of these guys are going to be gone. I know the Cincinnati Bengals head coach got 6 wins his first 2 seasons. And, and they gave Mike Brown gave him the benefit of the doubt, but you have new ownership. You brought in a coach that no other team interviewed. You brought in Brad Holmes. John Dorsey, this is not a John Dorsey draft. That trade up was 100% on Brad Holmes. So they're 100% on the hot seat. You can disagree with me if you want, but you're a 3-win team. You move up 20 spots in the draft. It's got to work. It's got to work this year. They're 100%. Both these guys. Dan Campbell is my number 1 coach on the hot seat. And I was thinking about doing like a special where I talk about each division who's on the hot seat. Dan Campbell's my number 1 coach on the hot seat. His hot seat is, or his position right now is hotter than anybody in the NFL. He may not even finish the season, to be perfectly honest. He may not. But here's the thing: the Lions don't have to get a lot better. I think 6 wins will keep him his job. But he's got to improve. You can't have 3 wins. If the Lions are 3-14 this year, Holmes and Campbell are both going to be gone. So, how many teams got 3 road games in a row like the Chiefs? The Chiefs got a brutal schedule. I don't have a problem with it because I like that. I'm enjoying this as a longtime Chiefs fan, but I'm able to admit it that the Chiefs are the NFL's media darling. The NFL loves the Kansas City Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes can do no wrong. And I love it. I love that every time Patrick Mahomes gets tackled, even legitimately, he looks for the ref and does this number. He wants a flag. You look at Patrick Mahomes wrong, he wants a flag. He'll get it too, by the way. And he's the media face of the NFL. And I love it. I don't have a problem with the Chiefs having a tough schedule. No problem with them having a tough schedule. It is brutal. Slasher, buddy, ready for week. Oh, yeah, that's going to be a good game, man. That's going to be a good game. As a matter of fact, you know what? Let's just talk about week 1. I'm going to give you my special content here before breaking down all 17 weeks. But, yeah, it should be very much fun. I was hoping to put something on Eagles week 1, but I don't think I'll win very much with odds. We are going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that. When it came to Houston's draft, there's 3 factors: development, location, being in the SEC. All Houston draft picks played in the SEC. Well, Baylor's not in the SEC. And they were competitive, have a high ceiling. And lastly, they're from Houston and went to a Texas school. They relied on factors that I'm not against that. I don't have that against that either. And I could see hold on here. Where is it? And I could see where you're coming from, but bottom line, that's the reason why I give him a C- is because if you wanted a safety, you should have took Hamilton. I love Kenyon Green. I absolutely love Kenyon Green. But was offensive line an issue? Edge rush was an issue. And I know they signed Jerry Holmes and Mario Addison, but bottom line, this is a great draft for an edge rusher, and you didn't take one. And you need to take one. That's how this defense works, is on that front 4. And it really needed an additional body. If you want to tell me Jerry Hughes, who did go to a Texas high school, by the way, really, really like Jerry Hughes. And I don't know about Mario Addison. I can't remember which school he went to, but this was a year to draft an edge rusher. So, But I mean, don't get me wrong, they did not get three bad players early on. And then Mechie, if he's a superstar who contributes around week 6 or 7, more power to the Houston Texans. But I thought it was a mistake because they could have got somebody else. They could have got somebody like George Pickens who might push. I just mentioned his name, the wide receiver out of Michigan. He may push him for a starting spot right away instead of waiting until midseason. So. I heard Campbell's getting a lot of. He should. Detroit Lions have an opportunity to be a really, really interesting team. Really interesting team. I don't care what people are saying. They're definitely on the hot seat, but they're on the hot seat because you can't win 3 games 2 years in a row. I mean, you just can't. So they got to do better. I think 6 games has got to be the spot. So. Alex, they reached with Stingley. He's good on his journey, but reminiscent of Jeff Okuda's. It is. He played better than Okuda, but the last 2 years he looked like maybe he was a late first-round draft pick. Really didn't play that well. Injury issues always scare me as well. There's 0 signs there on the hot seat there. He said that Williams won't be rushed back. The only way they even think about the hot seats because Williams absolutely flots like all-time bad. I don't think it's just Williams, but when you trade up 20 spots to get a guy and he's not ready right away, I do think that's kind of a red flag issue, especially considering there were other receivers that you could have taken at 32 or at 46 that would be day one starters. Sky Moore, throwing him out there. I mean, you could have taken him at 33, or at 34, I'm sorry, and nobody would have said anything, but you rolled the dice here. I think the expectations are the Lions are going to move up several games. I expect them to move up several games, but if they're 3-14, people are going to get fired. I mean, and that's just the way of the NFL, but I would be shocked if they 13-1, half game worse. I mean, you got a guy in Hutchinson. I think is going to add to that front seven instantly. I think he's a lot better than a lot of Lions fans think. This guy's a really good player, and he's going to be a good player. You get Jeff Okudah, he's coming back. Amon-Ra St. Brown, he's a guy that I really like. TJ Hawkinson, hopefully he plays a full 16 games or 17 games. I'm sorry. Injuries on the offensive line. Hopefully you can get everybody healthy. So, I mean, there's some good things with the Detroit Lions, but if they win 3 games again, people are going to get fired. I mean, that's whether that's been said or not said in the media or by management, that should be a given. But I do expect them to do better than they did last year. They're definitely better so far. So. I'm sorry. Okay. Yeah. Very reminiscent. Higher ceiling, but the injury issues. Now he was fully healthy. He had a great pro day. Has to play like he did as a freshman when he looked like he was one of the top 5 players. So they're all from Houston or went to a Texas school. Okay. I'm sorry about that. Disagree, Slasher. Honestly, man, the Lions are going to play pissed. They're going to watch that game, and Decker and Ragnow will play with a push. I'm hopeful that they are. I'm actually looking forward to that week 1 game against Philly. That's going to be a good one, man. That's going to be a good one. I'm going to go into detail about week 1, but I do want to say that I thought that they should play a divisional game on Thanksgiving, not the Bills. I thought that was kind of because that's really their primetime game is Thanksgiving. The Lions didn't get a primetime game this year. Technically, Thanksgiving should be their primetime game, and they get the Bills. I thought that was kind of a middle finger to the Lions. I've heard 5 to 7 month recovery for a torn ACL for Williams from January. Even conservatively, that has him ready for week 1. I can see your point about the trade, though. Yeah, I was wondering because if he was going to be in a boot for training camp, I would have been like, "What the hell are you doing?" But I've seen on social media he's actually walking around. That's the number one thing that when I have something called Plex, I'm not going to pay for it, but when Hard Knocks comes on and maybe a little behind, I want to see how he looks because I'm hopeful. Here's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing somewhere between weeks 3 and 5, he may be able to play, and they'll put him like on a pitch count. So That's kind of what I'm hearing. That's not bad, but you have a guy with an injury history, and there's questions about him going into the draft. But even if he was 100% healthy, I wasn't really really on board with the Lions trading up for him. So Denver Gator, man, I told the story about how you hated my video and wanted to punch me in the face. So next year I'm going to go live and we can discuss my draft grades live. But next time I go to Denver, we will have to get together. I am already behind on comments here. Not a lot of teams need Golden Rooster, man. Dude. Well, you got him in the third round. You got Ritter in the third round. It's great to see you again, man. I hated the Drake London pick. That was my least favorite first round. Well, yeah, that was actually least favorite. I was going to say Cole Strange from the Patriots, but that was my least favorite. Then they just did a fantastic job the rest of the draft. Did a really, really good job the rest of the draft. Did a really good draft. Good to see you again. Is Ritter going to start day one? I actually think he might. Alex, you already have a pretty established back room and lots of corners dropped into the second. He's a good athlete, but he's definitely a cause of concern with injury. What'd you think about but one quarterback in draft? I was floored, Jimmy. I was absolutely floored. You mentioned two and a half. I thought at least 3. I thought the Saints definitely were going to take a quarterback. That was why they made all that trade. I'm not going to go into details of the trade they made to Philly, but the 2023 first-round pick goes to Philly. So Philly has 2 first-round picks next year. And I thought, well, you don't do this unless you get a quarterback. So, yeah. By record, the Lions had the 5th easiest schedule. 6 wins is more than doable. 2 months from now, I'm going to break down all the teams I'm going to go in draft order. So the Lions will be second. But I'm going to talk about that. Yeah. I'm going to talk about that quite a bit. But yeah, I do think 6 wins is possible. I definitely do. 100%. I was too. They took, if I did a big board, Ike Ekwonu would have been my number 1 player. And I thought it was a genius move that they were talking so much about quarterback, then take left tackle, which I thought was their number 1 need. Great job. Then they go ahead and get Matt Corral, a guy who I think has maybe the highest ceiling in the draft. And a lot of people think it's Malik Willis. I think it's Corral. Bottom line, got one guy who excelled in the SEC. One guy couldn't even start. I mean, it's not really the same thing, but that's what you're saying. So since you're saying they're on hot seat, how much do you have on the? I'm saying they are on the hot seat right now. I think the line is at 6. And I think that's fair. I think that'd be about push. That's kind of where I see the Lions at as a 6-win team right now. But lots of things that could happen. But I don't have a bet on the under yet. But I do have, when I start in 2 months breaking down the over unders. I do have several teams that I'm going to put action on. Several. I got one team in particular that I'm definitely putting action on. So. Denver Gator, how do you feel about Nick Bonita? Can you live up the Von's mantle? No, that is definitely a thing. How much coffee have you snorted? I mean, Stevie, it's great to see you. And I am not on drugs, but I am drinking coffee, a lot of coffee. I'm super jacked up today. I'm super jacked up. Jimmy played both East divisions, and the Bears' offense is easily going to be the worst in the league. They better win 6. I think John Dorsey helped the team pick some really good players. Defense, James, welcome, man. Yes. I didn't really like the Pascal pick and the safety you took out of Illinois. Leo Chenal was available. I think the Chenal would have been a day 1 starter. And by the way, that's kind of an interesting story in Kansas City because we really thought we had Willie Gay, second-year player, and then rookie Nick Bolton. So we thought linebacker was off the board, but Leo Chenal's available late in the 3rd. He's going to push Willie Gay for a starting spot, and he's quickly becoming a Chiefs fan favorite. And so is Karlaftis. I'm probably butchering that name. So John Dorsey apparently used his whittlest draft board to only 150. I love the show, Dan. Dan, you're a brilliant NFL 9 platform, allows fans to discuss your teams passionately, logically, but I think you're hitting the pipe a little in your draft grades. I'm doing it live next year. Next year, Monday, live, draft grade live. I'm not doing a video. Yeah. Tough crowd. Yeah. Nobody likes my draft. Nobody likes my draft grades. I'm going to do it live next year. Next year we can argue live. Colts at Texans. Houston is undefeated against Indy in week 1 matchups. I did not know that. And we are going to go over week 1. Houston's a 7.5-point dog at home. But man, I'm going to tell you something. You guys, we're going to go over week 1. Stevie, sorry I haven't been here consistently, Dan. Either forget, get busy with family, or I've been busy launching my own channel with a couple other guys from the RG. That's awesome, man. I'm a big fan of RGR. I am subscribed to your channel. I haven't checked out too much of the stuff, but I'm a big fan of RGR. I'll match my football knowledge with him. I will definitely match my gambling knowledge against RGR, but big fan of his. I didn't know you were working with him. He's at, Stevie, this is probably, send me a message on my social media links, because Big Chief Sean, him and RGR are actually friends, and I'll get you two together, and maybe you two can come on my show. We can talk Chiefs, or just do a show together, something along those lines. If nothing else, maybe I can promote your show. I don't have a large following, but I do have some regulars, and if it's good content, man, I would love to have you on. And if you haven't teamed up with Big Chief Sean yet, because he's friends with RGR as well, so hit me up on social media, and if nothing else, we'll get in a group chat and see if we can all do something together. Eagles, the win the division, bucket. Golden Rooster, how many wins for Jets this year? I don't know the number, but the Jets are a team that's really interesting. I'm going to start breaking down all the teams in July, but we are going to go over week 1 in some detail. We are going to go over week 1 in some detail. I had given Chanel the nickname Dirty Death Row since he had Sorensen's number, but they're giving him 56, Derek Johnson's number. I'm seriously would not be surprised he ends up starting. No one will hold Vaughn's mantle, but Bonito will be a star in the next 2 years or so. Local restaurant recently purchased by South Park guys. That's one of my favorite episodes. All right. Well, you gave $70 million to Randy Gregory. You got Pro Bowler Bradley Chubb. Is he going to start? Jimmy, some of these lines for week 1 are looking pretty favorable. What's earliest to place a week 1 bet? I'm going to wait just due to injuries. I'm going to talk about that because there's one game that's already jumped up a half a point that I wish I would have came on right away. Yeah, we've had Big Chief. Yeah, Big Chief was on RGR, and we got to get him on a new show. We're still with it. Okay. So you're with I didn't know you're with the RGR. Yeah, because Big Chief Sean's been on this show, and I had a show Wednesday where I had him. I had Red Sea, Corey, aka the Red Sea, Alex, aka Homeland. And then my work schedule changed, but I've been I haven't yet reached out to Big Chief Sean, because me and him were going to get together and we're going to eat a bunch of fried foods together, and we haven't had a chance to do that. That's on me. I'm traveling to Denver and doing a bunch of other stuff. So but yeah, I've been trying to get Big Chief Sean. We communicate through Twitter, but I haven't sent him a direct message yet. But I really want to get Big Chief Sean back on this show, definitely before the season starts. I'm toying around with before Thursday Night Football doing a Wednesday night special if I can, try to get some people on. Big Chief Sean, I've been on his show. He's been on mine. I want to get him back on here. The show always did go with Big Chief Sean. So yeah. Who should the Falcons have picked at number 1? Drake London seems physical. Maybe that's why he has lots of injuries. I don't know. I actually originally I had David Ojabo, or no, I'm sorry, I had David Ojabo at 7. So originally I had Jermaine Johnson. Let me bring up the Falcons draft because I thought edge rush was something that they really needed. And then they lost their linebacker from he went to Jacksonville, and I'm drawing a blank on his name, but I absolutely really love that guy. Oh crap, I cannot. The NFL Network used to have all the shit. All right, I think I bit off more than I could chew here because I wanted to go. The NFL Network used to have all the draft picks in order, and they don't. So instead of doing that, by the way, I really like what they did to trade for Brian Edwards. I thought that was a brilliant move. For those of you who don't know, Brian Edwards played at USC, University of South Carolina, not USC. He was traded with a 7th round pick to Atlanta. Atlanta's given back a 5th to the Raiders. He reunites with Marcus Mariota. Really good pick. May end up starting for you guys. But I really wanted them to focus on the edge rush, and they ended up getting an edge rusher, inside linebacker. Did a really good job. They drafted a running back. I can't think of his name, but he's a 5th round pick out of BYU. He may end up starting. Really like him. The thing with Drake London is he reminds me a lot of N'Keal Harry, except I like N'Keal Harry a lot more, and N'Keal Harry ended up being a bust. So, Denver Gator, tell me about your defensive coordinator. I'd never heard of this guy before. God, I'm drawing a blank. I'm not going to look it up. I'm drawing a blank. What's funny is you said the Lions reached on Pascal, and you think he was going to fall to the 3rd, and said it happened in mocks, and the Lions ended up taking the guy who went top 7 in most mocks at 12 was bad. Okay. It's bad because he's injured. All right, he has a red flag, and even though I didn't see him going top 7 in most mocks, I didn't see that at all. Was he a top 10 pick in a lot of mock drafts? Yeah, I'd say maybe 50-50, but I didn't like him at 12 for the Lions. And the reason why is that I think the Lions needed somebody to contribute day one. I also didn't like the fact that you traded up and you gave up draft capital. The one thing that the Lions did really, really good last year is that every player that they drafted made the team and contributed last year. The only player that was really disappointed was Ozarike, and that was due to injuries and maybe the layoff because he sat out for COVID issues. But a lot of teams had a first-round grade on him, so I like that pick. So I thought the Lions should have gotten more draft picks, not fewer draft picks. And then they get a guy who's not ready day one. Pascal's not going to be a day one starter. All right. That bothers me. So you take a guy at 46 on a team that if you're using Madden grades, 1 through 32, the team with the 32nd ranked Madden grade would probably be the Detroit Lions. They needed somebody I felt that could start day one. Pascal's not going to do that. I like Pascal as a player, but you could have got him in the 3rd round. The thing is, though, Jameson Williams is not going to be ready day one. I don't like that move. Now, if he was completely healthy and you traded up to 12, I still wouldn't have liked it because I felt that last year you had so many really good drafts or so many players that you drafted really, really well. I give you guys an A- last year. I loved your draft last year. So why not trade down and get more picks? Let's say you picked at 1, 32, 34. I forget where your other pick is. Let's say you picked at 2. You take Hutchinson at 32 instead of trading up for Williams. When if you took Sky Moore instead? All right. When if you took George Pickens? Would that have been that bad? Both these guys day one starters. I think some spit will come out there. But I mean, we're going to agree to disagree. But no, I didn't like their draft. And consequently, you had 5 picks in first 66. You're getting one day one starter. The Jets, 2 picks in round 1, 2 picks in round 2, 4 day one starters. So, Vikings GM should have been fired. Oh yeah, I have that. Okay, I got my trade value chart right here. So the Lions get 12 and 46, which if you're using the Draft Tech chart value, it's 1640. Right? So Minnesota gets 32, 34, and 66, which is a total of 1410. So that 230 That's pick 72. That's a high third round pick. That was part of my reasoning. That's a big reason why I didn't give Detroit a D. I gave them a C minus. That was a really good move because if you trade up 20 spots, you normally should have to give up a lot more. I didn't get the Vikings moves, but I gave them a D plus. Gave them a D plus. I never touched week 1 games till last week of preseason. You never know who's going to get hurt and take that +3 into a -5 maybe. No, 100%. That's the reason why I didn't do it either, man. That's the reason why I don't do it either. But there is one game that's already jumped up that I really like, and now by the time the game starts, it's probably going to be out of reach. I'm going to go over all the week 1 point spreads instead of just going over the schedule. I'm going to go over to week 1 because there's multiple games I'm going to put action on. You get to hear it now. You get to hear what I'm going to bet week 1 today. Boom! Surprise. Aren't you glad you tuned in? God, I'm jacked up today. Man, I really wanted D'Angelo Mahone, but I'm happy with the Kobe Dean pick. Seems like a torn pec needing surgery is blown out of proportion. Hope Gannon can utilize the defense a little better. Oh, yeah, the Kobe Dean. Kudos to the Eagles getting A.J. Brown. What a great move. A big physical wide receiver, 2 route runners. They were disappointed in your TCU receiver drawing a complete blank on I'll remember it in like 30 seconds from now. Great job. I really liked what Philadelphia did, and that NFC East is going to be very interesting. D'Angelo Mahone was extremely good. He's undersized, but no slouch. He was having a very good day against Penei Sewell at the Senior Bowl. So yeah, Nakobe Dean's not bad, man. Nakobe Dean's not bad. You have your 2 linebackers are on 1-year contracts. Kazir White from the Chargers is not a bad player. He can play inside, outside. He's a tackling machine. He can do a lot of things, but man, I'd rather have Nakobe Dean in the middle, put him on the outside, have him go against tight ends. He can play weak side. Kazir White's a really good player, by the way. Really good player, underrated. Not a star, but good. Good pick by Atlanta. Yeah. Stevie RDC has been under Wade Phillips, Monty Kiffin, Vic Fangio. It was assistant Staley in LA and was under Morris, very aggressive and strategic. Ivro was his name. Ejo, something like that. Dan, the DC in Denver. Yeah, I know a little about him. I'm drawing a blank on his name though. But Stevie, if you look at some of the other value chart, the Lions lost out, so you mix that in. It was a push, but I can't believe they kept both 2023 firsts. That's a really good move because if you look at the early 2023 mocks, which I'm already looking at, a lot of people have the Lions taking the quarterback. I probably will too, but let's see how Goff does, because if Goff plays really well, just use those picks and build around him, man. It's going to be a really, 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 really good move, I think, with those 2 number ones, especially with Miami. Even though Miami's doing some kind of rambling here, but you know what I'm saying. I switched over to the Rich Hill trade chart since it was based off the scroll values rather than the chart. Yeah, the Draft Tech chart is what Jimmy Johnson uses. That's what I use for the values, and that's how I determine the trade chart. You can use the Rich Hill trade chart. You can use a lot. Every NFL team uses something different. I've been using the Draft Tech the Draft Tech chart, and I've liked using it. Is it entirely accurate? No, it's not, but it's what I've been using. And that's part of what I base my my draft grades on. So, not Penny, so I'm going to say Trevor Penning. Okay, you wanted Penning. Okay. I was kind of like Trevor. Okay, yeah. Hey Stevie, which channel are you under? If I subscribe, don't take away my broadcast. Subscribe. We'll have to get together. All right, we'll have to get together. Williams has upside of any wide receiver in his draft. Maybe. I seriously I'm drawing a complete blank. Oh man, I'm bad with names. My guy out of Arkansas. The guy Titans took. I think maybe he'd have a higher upside. It's debatable. It's debatable. The Arkansas kid, I'm drawing a complete blank on the name. Not to be confused with the other channel, BAK Talk. I would change it tonight tomorrow, so it's still. Put a link. Do me a favor in the comments section. Put a link to your channel. I'll prove it. I'll prove it. So, Dan, I have the AFC West, AFC North as two toughest divisions 2022. Which divisions do you have as toughest? Both those divisions probably. You could put there. Don't rule out the AFC East. The Jets, I think, could be a significantly better team. Buffalo, probably the best team in the AFC. I think New England could be a lot better than people give them credit for. The Dolphins, I have no idea what to expect from the Dolphins, to be perfectly honest. The Tyreek Hill trade is big. They've made some interesting moves. But besides those two, I'd look at the AFC East. The NFC West is another team. I mean, another division that could be really, really tough. You have the Cardinals went to the playoffs. You have San Francisco went to the playoffs. And then you have the Rams who won the Super Bowl. Seattle could be a sneaky good team nobody's talking about. Yeah, I'm holding out because of the injuries, but I also think that's why the lines are as favorable as they are now. Betting that injuries won't be a fact. Yeah, we're going to talk about that because there's a lot of games I like. That's your bonus pick. Treylon Burks, that's the same I was thinking. Jacob Dean gets love even though he is hurt. You're consistent. He gets love because he's a third round pick. You know, and I'm not a draft expert, Funk. I give my opinions, but opinions are. I am an expert on NFL win-loss totals, and those videos are coming out in 2 months from now. But with the draft, I'm not an expert. I'm just giving you my opinion. I could be wrong. I could be right. But I did go over thousands of mock drafts, and like the Bears, for example, I didn't really ding them for giving up a first round pick to the Giants, and also didn't give the Giants a lot of credit for taking two players who could be perennial Pro Bowlers, because you should get two really good studs at 5 and 7. But I do have my opinions. I think it's valid. But I was a little inconsistent. I'll be the first one to admit. But Nakobe Dean in the third round is a lot different than Williams at 12. I mean, you gotta admit that's fair, don't you? Maybe not, but I think it is. Red Veach got knocked on the Orlando Brown trade during this year's draft. He was basically right with the Rich Hill. What I didn't like was the multiple draft picks, and you kind of disagreed because you wanted to consolidate them. I look at them as multiple players. So that was it. I don't know, man. I really don't. Burks to me could be a bigger, stronger, faster version of Deebo Samuel. With Jameson Williams, I really wanted to see what he ran at the combine. Is this a guy who's 4.25 at 6'2", 185? Is he strong? Do you have a really good vertical? Does he run routes right? I also want to know, why was he non-existent at Ohio State? I mean, when Ohio State has, you could say, hey, look, I got Garrett Wilson at 12. I got Chris Olave at 11. But that other wide receiver who put up that monster game in the Rose Bowl, he was putting up good numbers. Williams wasn't even getting on the field. Why? I want to know why. And that bothers me a lot. Also, you have the injury issue. I mean, it is a factor. And the last couple of receivers at Alabama have had, it's been weird off the field issues. Now, the Jerry Jeudy thing looks to be way overblown. It looks like it may be absolutely nothing, but he hasn't really panned out. He was like my number 3 player in the draft. I love Jerry Jeudy coming out. Of course, Ruggs. That situation's kind of just goofy, but Waddle, great season as a rookie. Was it 102 catches or something? So yeah. If you want to tell me Williams, I get it. I might have said Williams, but Burks, man, 6'2", 225, and just massive upside. I don't know. It's a tough one. It's a real tough one. I think those two had the highest upside. So Nakobe wasn't even hurt, like the rumor said. Some false rumors say he needed surgery, so he dropped, but he was a full participant rookie minicamp. They may end up being a really, really good pick, Nakobe Dean. That may be a fantastic pick. I've been high on Dolphins last in 2 months from now, when I break down all the teams, but I'm gonna let you know right now, I'm not sold on the Dolphins at all. So I don't believe in Seattle. Lots of people don't. Treylon Burks couldn't even get through his first wide receiver drill without grasping for his inhaler. Not a good sign. No, that is not a good sign. I didn't know that. So last year, he was saying he was healthy and didn't participate at the pro day because of injury. So either he's a liar or a bitch, or he was hurt. I'm leaning towards hurt. Dean was my draft crush, bud. Yeah, he's a guy. I didn't get why he lasted so long. But one thing I will say is that if you listen to Around the Sticks podcast, I am not part of the NFL Network, but I Bucky Brooks and Daniel Jeremiah, I used a lot of their stuff when I did my draft, draft grades, and when I did all those videos I made, I used a lot of their material. They kept on saying when they interviewed Nakobe Dean, he was so small. They kept on saying that. They're like, I don't think this guy's not built like an NFL player, and that's something I think that really. I mean, these are former NFL scouts. These guys know what they're talking about. And they kept on saying it over and over and over again. And I think that really hurt his draft stock. I think if these guys were like, oh, yeah, he's a solid 230, 235. He's just an inch shorter and 6 foot. He'll be fine. I think he goes in the first round. But because they said it, I think a lot of NFL scouts saw that. I think going in a situation like the Eagles where they got 2 linebackers on 1-year deals, I think it's a really good deal because I don't think he has to play every single snap as starting middle linebacker this year. I think he can put on some size and then next year be the starting middle linebacker and play every single snap. So I never said he was healthy. I just said the injury needing surgery was blown out of proportion. He was full participant in camp, so why the false rumors are of surgery. Burks better get on that Jerry Rice card. Yeah, he better. I didn't know about that. So I'm going to give you guys some really great content because there's 5 games I want to bet on. 5. Game number 1, Baltimore at the New York Jets. The line's already changed. It went from 4 to 4.5. Baltimore's a 4.5 point favorite at the New York Jets. I absolutely love Baltimore. If this line stays at 4.5 or maybe even 5, I'm definitely taking Baltimore. I love a veteran team going into New York. New York could have as many as 4. All 4 of those rookies that we talked about when draft grades, all 4 of those guys are going to start. This is a veteran team going against Robert Saleh at wide 9 defense. It's not a variable defense. So I really like this. This is going to jump up. It's probably going to be around 6 when it starts. But right now, I absolutely love Baltimore. It opened at 4 yesterday. Jimmy, yeah, I still like 4.5. If it goes up to 5, I'm probably still taking 5. Maybe even 5.5 once it hits 6. And I think that it will hit 6. Another thing is that the over-under is 45.5. I'm leaning towards the under, but Baltimore could just put on a clinic. Remember, a couple of years ago, they went down to Miami, won like 59-0 or something. I'm not exaggerating. Something like that could happen. I love Baltimore in 4.5. I think when the season starts, it's going to be around 6. Love this game. Another game I absolutely love. And too bad Pete's not here because he could comment. Because one of the things that you always want to bet on, something that NFL bettors know, it's a trap when New England goes to Miami. Week 1, New England goes to Miami. However, Bill Belichick against rookie head coaches rookie quarterbacks. New England's a 3-point dog going to Miami. I think New England actually wins this game. Do not be surprised New England beats the shit out of Miami week 1. You got a rookie head coach. You got Tyreek Hill. It may take a little bit of time for Miami. New England's a dangerous team. You get 3 points. I may just take the money line right now. It's at plus 130. If you can take New England, I know New England going to Miami it's a tricky spot. Miami beat them in New England week 1. Last year, watch out. I love New England week 1 at Miami. Normally bet against Bill Belichick going to South Beach. Not this year. I'm still thinking I'm taking Baltimore to crush the Dreams. For the division. Yeah. That we're going to talk about that a lot later on. But I'm talking week 1. I had 5 games that I liked. Okay, here they are. Slasher, he fell for size. Lions may have gotten a steal with. Oh God, you know what? I didn't even talk about it, but Rodriguez is a player, a linebacker out of Oklahoma State, 5'11", 230. He'll make the team. He'll be a special teams demon. I don't know if he'll play. I don't know if he's a full-time player, but he'll make the team. He's a guy you guys are really going to love. Real good player. Real good player. Kid was a safety. He grew out of position weight-wise to be short arm, but the films are really nice. You want to watch some good film. Watch Rodriguez play at Oklahoma State. He was a tackling machine. He'll make the team. He'll be a special teams team. And Lions fans are going to like this kid. All right. I know what you're going to say. I'm a Chiefs fan. A little biased. But Andy Reid's 8-1 week 1 in Kansas City. Had a great start. When he was with Philadelphia, had a great week 1. Kansas City goes to Arizona. They are only a 3-point favorite. I know that taking a road favorite is a bad move usually, but this is an exception. Andy Reid's 8-1 season openers. Arizona Cardinals DeAndre Hopkins is not going to play. Arizona started off 9-0, finished what was it, 11-6, something like that. And then there's all this Kyler Murray sitting out and everything. This is a good game to bet on. It might jump up to 3.5. I got a feeling it's going to jump up 3.5. The over-under is 54. I would lay off, even though it could be a shootout, but I love Kansas City in 3 points. A road favorite, I don't like doing that, but this is a good one. Take Kansas City in 3 points week 1 at Arizona. Another road favorite I absolutely love, Green Bay at Minnesota. Green Bay is a 1.5 point favorite. Bottom line, there's a lot of hype around Minnesota, but you do got a first-time coach. You got Aaron Rodgers going in there. It's going to be nothing you haven't seen before. If this line stays at 3 or less, I'm putting action on Green Bay. I fully expect Green Bay to win this game. Last year, week 1, remember they got blown out by the Saints 38-3. They will be remembering that. They're going to start off fast this year. I expect them to crush Minnesota. Yeah. This is going to be a big one. This is going to be a big one, Jimmy. This was actually my number 1 game. I like Kansas City also, but I really expected this to be about 3.5. I don't know where they're getting 1.5, man. So I really like Green Bay 1.5. Road favorite week 1 scary, man. Yeah, you know what? Not only did I have what did I say? I had let me see here. How many did I have? So let's see here. I got wait a minute. Am I doing this right? I thought the bottom teams were home. Okay, yeah, the bottom teams are home. So I'm picking several road teams week 1. I'm picking several road teams. I'm picking Baltimore as a road favorite. I'm picking New England as all these are road favorites. I'm taking Baltimore as a road favorite. I'm taking New England as a road favorite. I'm taking Kansas City as a road favorite. I'm taking Green Bay as a road favorite. And finally, number 5, Sunday night, Tampa Bay travels to Dallas. Tampa Bay is a 2.5 point favorite. I like Tampa Bay. Last year, these two teams started the season on Thursday night. It ended up being a really good game. I think the line ended up being like at 9 or something like that. And bottom line, I just think Tampa Bay's a lot better of a team than Dallas. And I know there's a lot of talk about the Tom Brady going in broadcasting and everything, and I just forget all that. Tampa Bay right now, I think, is the best team in the NFL. I think going into the season, if I don't do a power rankings thing, but if I did, I went 1 through 32, I'd probably put Tampa Bay at the top. I don't know if Dallas makes my top 10 or not. I think losing Amari Cooper is a big deal. I think it'll have an effect. I know that they're really expecting their defense to just get better. I don't know if I really expect that or not. I like Tampa Bay to win this game. I know I'm picking 5. I didn't even pay attention, Funk. I'm picking 5 road favorites week 1. 4 of them are favorites. That's normally not a good thing, but yeah, that's what I got. 5 games. I know I don't like doing parlays. But I might put a parlay down. I'm not sure which 3 I like the best, but as of today, all 5 of these. I would put action on all 5 of these, and I feel really, really good about all 5 of these. McCombs is going to have to carry a young defense severely lacking a veteran present in the second and third level until the Chiefs level to D until the Chiefs bye week. I'm not so sure, and the reason why I say that is you got Nick Bolton. He's going to be he started week 1. He's ready to go. Willie Gay, he's going to fight Leo Chenal. That's one of the best preseason battles. But you still got Chris Jones. You got Frank Clark. In this defense, Karlaftis is not going to be asked to do a lot. They're basically just going to say, go get him, boy. And he's going to attack the quarterback. So the Chiefs defense may be a lot better than people realize. The front seven's instantly is going to be a lot faster. The one thing is about Hitchens is that he never really lived up to the billing. He was steady, but they really paid him to be spectacular. And now you got Nick Bolton, who's going to be just as productive as Hitchens. Willie Gay is a freak of nature, but part of it's injuries, getting the system. Leo Chenal, 250, ran a 4.53. Nobody expected him to run a 4.53, to be perfectly honest. But if he plays like that, he'll be a starter. But it'll be very interesting to see what happens with that. But the Chiefs defense, I think, may surprise people and be surprisingly better than they were at the start of last year. Remember, they moved Chris Jones to the outside. No, he's going to play inside. They got Frank Clark, and they got a bookend on the other side. Plus, they still have Melvin Ingram. So that's key. Green Bay will lose, and Watson will have 2 drops. I know you kept on posting that about Christian Watson having all those drops. I also really liked Amari Rodgers coming out of Clemson, and I expect him to have a bigger impact this year. But I expect them to beat Minnesota week 1. But we'll see. We'll see. But right now, I would put Green Bay. Yeah, I would put action on them week 1. Dallas got noticeably worse. Not even saying this out of spite. I know that they're home favorites, but I'll be honest. I think last year they're 7-1 at home, but throughout the history of Jerry World, Dallas really hasn't had a home field advantage. They really haven't. Even though last year I know they went 7-1. Tampa Bay's a veteran team that can win on the road. I really liked. I said the same thing last year when these two teams played. But remember, Tampa Bay came out, had like 4 turnovers, and still won that game. I mean, if they didn't have those turnovers, they probably could have won by 10, 15 points. I really think Tampa Bay just crushes Dallas. I don't know if Dallas got noticeably worse, but I think losing Amari Cooper is a big deal. And I'm not sure that Dallas – I think Dallas believes that they're just ready to just take the next step up. I think they probably took a step back. So I really like that Tampa Bay game. I actually do expect it to jump up to 3. I think it'll jump up to 3. But people love betting on Dallas. and people are going to say, well, it's September 11 and it's a night game and Dallas is going to be really amped up. And they're not a team that gets amped up for big games. They usually don't play noticeably better on prime time. So even though I think it could go to 3, people like betting on Dallas. It could jump down to 2, but that's a game I really, really like. What about Denver as a road favorite for -4? Well, let's talk about it. That's one game I'm going to pass on because I'm looking at 3.5. Everybody talks about Russell Wilson. What about Drew Lock? I thought Drew Lock really got the finger. And by the way, Denver did make a mistake not starting Drew Lock because everybody got fired. But you got Drew Lock, you got Noah Fant, you got Shelby Harris, you got 3 starters that are going to come back, and they're going to be really pissed. Is Russell Wilson going to be able to? Is he going to be up to speed week 1? Is he? I mean, he's been in Seattle for a long time. I mean, he's just going to come back. Everything's going to be kosher. He's just going to step right in. It's a little different than with Peyton Manning coming in. I mean, they kind of custom everything around Peyton Manning. He just stepped in. He ran the Colts offense. I don't know how that's going to work. This is a rookie head coach who's never been a head coach before. You got Pete Carroll. You got 3 pissed off starter versus 1 pissed off starter. And the one thing about Seattle is they really needed to change defenses. I've been saying this for a while, so now they finally did. And Kenneth Walker, they got 3-prong running back committee there in Seattle. That's going to be a fun game, man. I think that you like -4 and Wilson looking to make a statement. I'm not so sure, man. I'm not so sure. I'm really not, because I could see Seattle being a team that nobody really thinks highly of, and they're a type of team that, look, you have 3 really good running backs. Now one's a rookie, but you got Chris Carson. He's coming back from injury. When he's healthy, he's been absolutely a stud. Rashad Penny last half of the season was as good as anybody. Finally started getting everything going. That defense change, I'm kind of anxious to see how that's going to work out. It could be good, it could be bad, but they've needed to make that change for a while. But offensively, DK Metcalf and Lockett, those are 2 really good receivers, man. And I've been saying this for a while, man. Drew Lock's a good quarterback. Has nothing to do if we went to the same high school. Maybe a little. I think he wins starting spot. And if he does, man, he can play. He can play. It's going to be, I think it's going to be a fun game. I'm actually passing on that game. I think it's good. I think it's going to be a fun game. Week 1, they just did a great. We can go over every single game if you want. This is a great job. You got some divisional games. One of my favorite games. I'm not going to be able to see it because of my location, but it's one of the most underrated rivalries in sports. You get the Saints going to Atlanta. That's just going to be awesome. That's a really good game. I may be getting away with myself here, but I'm seeing Pats -1 at Steelers, which for week 2 is tempting to make right now. Yeah, absolutely it is. I'm paying attention to the Steelers quarterback situation. If Trubisky ends up being the starter, I might put action on Pittsburgh over yearly win totals. Because that's something I really, really am paying attention to. If it's with Pickett, who I expect to be the starter, I'll probably pass. But Pittsburgh's a team a lot of people are sleeping on, but this is a team I expect to be better, and they went to the playoffs last year. Kalifdis is good. He needs to learn some pass rush techniques. He isn't going to see a lot of production just trying to overpower. Yeah, that's one thing. I really thought he was better suited for a 3-4 outside linebacker. But one thing is that he really stood out in rookie minicamp. They like his speed, like his intensity. The number one thing they love about him is full speed, 100 miles an hour. It's very infectious. He's got to learn a lot. When I give the Chiefs a B+, it wasn't for their first 3 picks, even though it was for Chenell in the 3rd round. James, I think it's Jameis or Jarius Williams out of Fayetteville State. A lot of people thought he could have gone in the 2nd round. And Kennard, they got the massive left tackle out of Kentucky. He's already taken reps at starting right tackle. 5th round pick may end up being a day 1 starter. And that's just fantastic. But yeah, Karlaftis has some room to learn, and Ingram, they're planning on bringing him in, so Karlaftis doesn't have to be a day one starter. But yeah, he's got some work ahead of him. Yeah, he definitely got some work ahead of him. Chanel's led him in coverage, but and that's kind of going to be the thing is that last year, Willie Gay, they took him out of obvious passing situations despite having great speed. And I'm kind of wondering how that's going to work out. There is a possibility that when they play a true, 4-3 defense that you see all three of these guys. And there's a lot of speed and athleticism. And we haven't really seen that from the Chiefs linebacking core in a while. That's why it's kind of interesting because you got two really good athletic linebackers in Gay and Chanel. Which one's going to be the starter? The Chiefs weren't even looking at linebacker. They were just Chanel's available at 103, and he really shouldn't have been. He should have been chosen a lot sooner than 103. Ingram, if another team doesn't sign him by July 22nd. I don't want to touch into that. It's kind of a weird situation, but as of right now, it looks like Ingram is going to be a Chief as of right now. If that changes when I start breaking down the teams in a couple months from now, I'll address it. But as of right now, he's a Chief. That's how I'm going to work it. It's fair discussion, the collective IQ awareness, et cetera, of Hitchens, Zeman, Sorensen, Matthew, and Ward versus the athleticism, skill, and youth of Chanel, McDuffie, Cook, Williams, and Johnson. One thing is that you have Steve Spagnuolo, who's an A-plus defensive coordinator. The system by NFL standards is not overly complex. Plus, you do got Chris Jones and Frank Clark, which are the key components, because the key components is up front. And the fact that you have Frank Clark and Chris Jones, then you also, as of right now, you have Ingram, and then you add to that with Karlaftis. The simple fact that you have a really good defensive coordinator in Spags is what makes this, I think, a possible seamless move here. It could be a bad thing. I thought losing Matthew was a big deal. I really did, and. Don't get me wrong. Justin Reed's a good player. He's just not as good as Matthew. But ultimately, the defense is predicated on what the front four does. Chris Jones is a top 5 defensive tackle easily. I can argue number 2. Frank Clark, when healthy, is a good pass rusher, not Pro Bowl caliber pass rusher. But you have Ingram on the other side. That makes a world of difference. Karlaftis, how fast does he get up to NFL standards? So, yeah, I agree 100%. New D-line coach Joe Cullen should help too. I didn't even touch base on that. I was thinking defensive coordinator, but yeah, I forgot about that. I didn't even mention it. I didn't even mention that. One Pride 40, what's up, man? Living the dream here. Funk agrees with all my draft grades. That's what you missed. So, I read the Seahawks brought in offensive coordinator Shane Waldron to install the McVay offense, and Wilson resisted this and did his own thing. A rookie head coach with Wilson could get ugly. That's kind of what I'm thinking too, is because he was in Green Bay and the plan was we're going to bring him into Denver and we're going to lure Aaron Rodgers away. And that didn't work out. So what was plan B? Russell Wilson. Well, you have a first-time rookie head coach and you got Russell Wilson who can kind of do his own thing. How's this going to work? And Denver Broncos fans think that, hey, we're going to go ahead. We're just going to, get a future Hall of Fame quarterback that works so well with Peyton Manning. That was completely different than bringing in Russell Wilson with this guy. This could be a complete train wreck. This could be a complete disaster. What I think Denver needs to do is be a run-first team, and I'm wondering if Russell Wilson kind of wants to do his own thing and says, "Nah, I'm not really going to go along. I'm going to call audibles. I'm a Hall of Famer, beloved in Denver," and he is. So that it could work. It could be a complete train wreck. Quarterback situation in Pittsburgh is interesting for sure. I think their running back, whose name is blanking on me, Najee Harris. I do that all the time. Najee Harris will be an MVP candidate. The offensive line is going to be better. Whoever plays the quarterback, and nothing against Big Ben. He couldn't throw the ball downfield. Didn't have his best years. But you have that receiving core. I know James Washington is in Dallas, but Deontay Johnson is a guy probably deserved to go to a Pro Bowl last year. Got passed over. I forgot about the other wide receiver, the big dude from Notre Dame, who at times looks dominant. Yeah, you have the tight end, the rookie tight end, really came on strong. It's going to be Pittsburgh's got some real weapons. It'll be kind of interesting about that quarterback situation. I was really high on brain freeze, the kid out of Oklahoma State. the kid who got the helmet. I'm drawing a complete blank. I am drawing a complete blank on his name. Kid out of Oklahoma State. I actually liked him better than Baker Mayfield. Mason Rudolph. That's the name I was trying to think of. I had to look that up. But I actually liked Mason Rudolph more than I liked Baker Mayfield. Didn't work out so far. But he's a guy that they were really hoping would take over the quarterback situation. Now he's completely, second or third string. It's basically a two-dog fight. I think Pickett's going to win. I really do. But if it ends up being Trubisky for 1 year, I think the win total is 8.5, and I would definitely bet on Pittsburgh for the over. 4-3-3-4 hybrid for the Eagles this first time I'll ever see it. Hope it's the right move. Well, you got the right defensive tackle. I thought that was a brilliant move going from 15 to 13. Getting Jordan Davis, who I think is an absolute monster, who I think can play in an even or odd man front. A lot of people don't. I think he can. I think that he'll be an absolute monster. Then I also absolutely love the A.J. Brown move. Absolutely love it. Slasher Patricia tried that hybrid thing. The biggest problem with Patricia's defense was that it was all reactionary, to be honest. So as long as you have attack instead of waiting, you should be good. Yeah, that was kind of the deal with Romeo Crennel when he was here in Kansas City. Is his defense was so complex, but it was also reactionary. And like most defenses you learn from Pop Warner on the college is that you just go. Well, Patricia and a lot of times what they've done in New England, they've kind of switched it around to it's more attacking defense. But I know Romeo Crennel ran that read and react defense, and it's really difficult. It is so hard to do. I don't think they're doing that in Philly, but you Slasher, you'd have to tell me. But he's right. The Funk's 100% right. If you do that read and react defense, you have to have the right group of guys. You have to have a real veteran team. You can't use a bunch of young guys. But I think that they're going to do something different. I think that what they're doing is I don't think they're doing like a 4-3-3-4. I think they're doing like a 4-3 and a 3-3-5, which is what a lot of college defenses are doing, is showing a base nickel with either a safety or a corner, and then also the Jordan Davis move. And this works really good with the guy you got from Carolina who was in Arizona. I'm drawing a complete blank. He went to Temple, 10th overall pick in the draft. I have to look his name up. You guys signed him in the offseason. Thought it was a great move. Hassan Reddick. Okay, sorry about that. Because he really played his best at Arizona when he played defensive end. I'm not really sure how he's used in Carolina last year, but I was kind of surprised because they wanted him to be a 4-3 outside linebacker. I was like, oh no, that's going to work. But I think that what they're going to do is have him be kind of a pseudo linebacker defensive end, and that could be really good. It could blow up in your face, but I do like that you're going in that direction. I also like that you got 2 number ones next year, just in case it doesn't work out with your quarterback. So, yeah, they're going to do the same thing this year. Same thing. So, does a hybrid really matter that much with how little team standard? Well, more teams are running a nickel base, and the situation is, do you want to run like a 3-3-5 or a 4-2-5? That's kind of the question. And who's that? And who's in the 5? Is it 3 safeties? Like the Chiefs used a big nickel where they had Daniel Sorensen, who is a safety play in that linebacker position. Are you using, because what the Chiefs like to do is have one linebacker and then they have Sorensen, who would be a linebacker, even though technically he was a safety. So that's kind of what they're talking about. At least that's the best of my knowledge. But I don't know if you're bringing a 3-4-4-3 type of format. But I think Jordan Davis, no matter what defensive line type of thing, you can use him. But I really think that eventually the plan is when you move on from, oh God, oh no, I'm so sorry, $12 million deal. Fletcher Cox, I'm so sorry. He takes over from Fletcher Cox. And whether you want to run a 3-4 or 4-3, he can do everything. I'm a big Jordan Davis fan. Not everybody is. So to answer your question, I think it's more of a hybrid because teams are switching that 3-3-5 that most college defenses are running. And then you also have a base where teams are running more of a 4-2-5, where they have 4 defensive linemen, 2 linebackers, and then the extra safety. So what are your thoughts on the Raiders-Chargers games? I like the Raiders +4 for that one. I expect it to be a hell of a game. All FC Western. Oh, yeah. The only thing I'm kind of curious about is how long it's going to take McDaniels to get that team under control. How long is it going to take for him and Carr to get connected? Because they are changing defensive schemes. That was one thing I was kind of worried about because at first I thought Gus Bradley was staying, but he went to Indianapolis. But how long is it going to take the Chargers to get on the same page? Because I actually expect the Raiders to be more of a run-first team, believe it or not. A lot of people think that McDaniels is going to come in, throw the ball all over the place. I'm not really sure he's going to do that. I think you're going to see kind of a run-first type of team. Also want to find out what's going on with their offensive line situation because originally I thought that Leatherwood was going to play right tackle. I'm hearing he's moving inside the guard. I want to find out what's going on in their offensive line situation. But it's going to be a great game, man. I mean, obviously it's on the same time as the Chiefs Cardinals game, so I'm going to watch that one. But I'm a little hesitant. I do like the Raiders, to be perfectly honest, but I'm a little hesitant for the action on that game because I don't know how long it's going to take McDaniels to get everybody on the same page. The Raiders may be one of these teams that starts off kind of slow, but then really kicks into high gear once everybody gets on the same page. I'm expecting McDaniels to do a good job because I mean he already was a head coach and remember he had that what was it that 6-0 start in Denver and they finished 8-8. That was his rookie year, wasn't it? So I'm not 100% sure, but that's the reason why I'm not putting action on it. So I'm not 100% sure how long it's going to take McDaniels to get everybody up to speed, but I actually, to be perfectly honest with you, I kind of like the Raiders to win that game. I think the Chargers are a team that's a little overhyped, but we'll see how long it takes them to get everything up to speed. But even though I do like the Raiders to possibly win that one week 1, because the Chargers could be looking forward to Thursday night at Arrowhead. They may be kind of overlooking one. It happens. Take the 4 points. Don't take the money line. I don't want to face it, but I'm excited about the Steelers. The Adam Flores at coaching staff is unfair. What I like is Miles Jack. You got Devin Bush and Miles Jack. I mean, you could have some stud inside linebackers. They had a ton of injuries on that defensive line. They were 32nd running defense. It was an all-time record for giving up rushing yards. They've shore up the rushing defense. Plus, you have an improving thing with improving in situation with the quarterback. So the Steelers could be a team. Nobody's talking about the Steelers. They could be a really dangerous team, and that's part of the reason right there. The thing is with the hybrids, you can run a lot of sub packages. Usually, the front 7 stay the same, but they mix in man and zone packages. And here's the thing: when you run sub packages, like I think the Eagles are planning on doing, is Hassan Reddick going to be a pass rusher? Is he going to be in coverage? You can kind of do a little creative things with the front 7. I actually was not aware that the Eagles, I should have been when they drafted Jordan Davis, but I wasn't aware the Eagles were switching to a 3-4-4-3 sub defense. And that's something that I do want to pay attention to because when I looked at the Eagles, I'm looking at a team that I think made some changes for the better and they could really compete for the NFC East. But they're changing schemes on defense. That kind of scares me a little bit. That's basically all I know, if that's right. No, fair enough. What are the betting odds for the Eagles to win the division? Let's find out, man. Let's find out. Let's see if I can figure it out. Let's see here. Future bets. Eagles, right? All right, let's see. Eagles. All right, they don't have it by alphabetical order, so I got okay. Let's see here. Hold on here. Okay, division winner. Okay, the way it's set up is a little goofy. It's plus 250. So I'm looking at all 32 teams. There's a way it breaks it down. I've never used the Caesars. I'm using this by Caesars. I'm using the Caesars. So if you download the Caesars app to your phone, I'm not going to go into a lot of detail on the Caesars app. But if you have some questions, drop a comment, or you can always email me. Just shoot me an email if you have some questions on the Caesars app, and I can go over in some more detail. The Eagles plus 250 to win the division. The way it's set up is kind of weird. I apologize. 1,800 to win the NFC plus 4,000. The plus 250 means if you wager 100, you win 250. They are not. The Dallas is negative 110. I know it's not cocaine, I promise. The hybrid thing, the way I understand it, mixes the player type. So a D end so one DN, one 4-3 DN, one nose tackle, one tweener, and then a rush jack linebacker. That's the way I understand it too, Funk. Adams, Renfro, Edwards, and Waller. Edwards is in Atlanta. Edwards just got traded. It happened today, but Edwards is in Atlanta. But the way I understand it is, I really think that what you're going to see is I really think that you're going to see the Raiders are going to be more of a running team. I think you're going to see Josh Jacobs, but Edwards is in Atlanta. Good move for Atlanta. Broncos fans licking their chop for McDaniels at Mile High. Hey, they should. That's going to be a fun one. I completely forgot about it. McDaniel's coming back to Denver. I'm a little too no hate here, Funk, man. I'm just glad you're here, brother. I'm glad you're here. McDaniel's is smart. He slowly changes over to Zoe, in my opinion. Let Carr start off what he's comfortable with and slowly make the move. I don't know what they're planning on doing, but that's something I am paying attention to, and I want to see how long it takes Carr to get comfortable. How much is he playing preseason? They're always going to say the right things, but I want to pay attention to what they look like. The numbers are different on the Caesars app, and that's what I'm using. Whatever you're using, let me know. And then, by the way, you can always drop a comment below or email me. You can shoot me an email. I get notifications on my phone. I will email you back. So fall's supposed to be Dallas. What are betting odds that Dan's goes to Chiefs at Vegas and gets a lap dance from a professional team? You know what? I'm tempted to. Last game of the season, Chiefs are in Vegas. I'm very tempted to. And you never know, man. You never know. Jags at Washington's an interesting one. Jags are +4, but I feel like they're in better shape than Commanders. Awful. I actually like the Commanders. To tell you, I'm the only one that likes the Commanders. I actually think it's pretty cool. I'm seeing 4.5. That's one I'm going to pass on because I'm not really sure what to expect. Also got burned taking the Commanders. Well, they weren't the Commanders last year. But anyway, Chargers going to Washington, first-time coach. Because Doug Peterson, you know what? Doug Peterson's familiar. That's a good one. That might be a good one. 4.5. 4.5 is what I got. And again, I'm using the Caesars app. I'm not associated with Caesars, but I absolutely love them. The 3 nights I got to stay at the Isle at a Blackhawk in Denver was a free of charge thanks to Caesars app. Or thanks to Caesars, not the app. But I'm using the Caesars. I say the Caesars app because I have it on my phone. This is the first time I've used the Caesars Sportsbook on a computer. So I have 2 screens. One I'm looking at. That's why I'm always kind of looking off. And then my second screen, I have the Caesars Sportsbook information. But if you ask for anything like division winners or anything, it's set up really weird. On the app, I can navigate it pretty easily. I do have my phone here, but I brought it up on the screen because I wanted to bring just bigger for week 1. But yeah, right. Caesars has 4.5. Yeah, Jacksonville plus 4.5. That's actually a good bet. I don't like taking rookie coaches at 4.5, but this might be an exception. I kind of like that one. Hassan Reddick's definitely going to be a stand-up pass rusher. Kazir White from the Chargers should be in a mic. Yeah, he is. And then be our coverage guy, and Kobe Dean will play on the weak side, if I assume correct. Yeah, I think that's what's going to happen. And then Kazir White is on a 1-year deal. I think Reddick's on a 1-year deal. I'm not 100% sure on that. But White's on a 1-year deal. And what will happen is in 2023, Nakobe will move inside and White will go outside because White can play inside outside. He played outside most of the time, but then there was some injuries, so he had to move inside. He's a really good player, but you only signed him to a 1-year deal as a bargain. You got a 1-year, $5 million deal, but he can play inside outside. So maybe overindulge in free agency, but Lawrence is better off Doug Peterson than the Urban. Yeah. Oh, wow, I missed it. That's right. It happened today. It happened just a couple hours ago. It was Brian Edwards to Atlanta plus a 7th-round pick. They're shipping back a 5th. And it's a great move for Atlanta because I think Edwards starts. So, yeah. Not probably. London's picked. And yeah, Atlanta quietly has done some different things. Patterson, they're going to use more as a running back, but yeah, I love Cordell Patterson. I do too. Big fan of Cordell Patterson. The rookie running back that they got out of BYU, I'm drawing a complete blank on his name. He may end up starting. Yeah, so. The numbers off of Fan. Okay. All right, I'm using Caesars, but here's the thing, and this is very important. Let's say you like Jacksonville. All right. If you're using FanDuel and you get FanDuel in 4, or you can take 4.5 off Caesars and then use Caesars. It's always good to use multiple sources. I'm using Caesars because the states that it's legal in, let me see if I can bring it up here. Arizona, Colorado, Illinois, Indiana, Iowa. I'm going to Iowa soon. It's like a 2.5-hour drive. So I'm actually doing all my over-unders in Iowa this year. I'm not going out to Vegas. I'm just going to drive 2.5 hours to Iowa and do all my sports betting there. Louisiana, Michigan, New Jersey, New York, Ontario. Okay, I said states, but Ontario, I didn't know that. Tennessee, Virginia, West Virginia, and Missouri. It's coming legal to Missouri soon too. But if you live, let me see here. I'm assuming you're in Philly. If you're close to Jersey or New York, then it's a good option. Actually, Virginia or West Virginia. So you can use Caesars at any one. And the good thing is if you sign up, I'm going to sound like a Caesars employee here. If you sign up, there's usually a bonus. So I just think Commanders is too many syllables. Yeah, I still like it, man. I'm sorry. Did you say Washington Comrades? I think it's just put it out there. Baker gets cut and ends up in Houston. Commander Wentz is the Oscar Mayer risk. Do you trust I'm higher than the Jags that other people I talked to. I like what they did in the draft. I'm curious what they're going to do, man. I like what they did in the draft. Josh Allen could be a top 5 edge rusher, and even though I kept on calling him Tannehill, Trevor Lawrence has all the talent in the world. And don't forget to get Travis Etienne back. Jacksonville's going to be an interesting team. That I'll be honest, that AFC South's really going to be fun. It's really going to be fun. I can't wait for Wentz to take back to the link week 3. It's going to be so nice to hear the boos. He's going to get booed bad. He is going to be booed bad. I'm really I didn't even touch base on that, but that's going to be such an interesting story. Slasher won White in free agency and loved Funk loved Nakobe Dean and Kazir White's a really good player. Real good player. He can do multiple things. He's a guy that would have been really good in Detroit. Would have been really good because he can do multiple things. He's not a pass rusher, but great in coverage, tackling machine, real athletic. I didn't even touch base on Indy. But Washington, I seriously, they're they're that's a very interesting team. So I'm a little jealous, real talk. Kazir White's a damn good player. He's a damn good player. He's a guy that doesn't get a lot of credit. So yeah. Funky Lions fan. He was also that guy that was a safety turn linebacker. So he put on some size. I has high hopes for him, especially with Dean. They should complement each other well. Yeah. It was. I thought it was really a thing that nobody paid attention to in free agency was Kazir White going to Philly on a 1-year deal. 1-year, $5 million deal. I was really surprised that he didn't get like a 5-year, $30-40 million deal, but he's a really, really good player. Real good player. Oh, Stevie, yeah. Follow me on Twitter. Big Chief Sean and I talk. We'll get like a threesome going between me, you, and Big Chief Sean and see if we can all get together. Help all of our channels grow because Big Chief Sean was nice enough to let me on his show, and he's been here several times, and I hope to have him back again soon. And we also have to eat a bunch of fried food here very soon. I need to get a hold of Big Chief Sean, but yeah, we'll all get together for a threesome. It'll be awesome. Funky Lions fan. Lions essentially have stole Jameson Williams from the Eagles. He will be extremely good for you guys. That is if golf doesn't pull. I was really worried that I was going to look forward to him. That was the number one thing I was looking for on Hard Knocks was he going to be on a boot? But I saw on social media, I think it's today or yesterday, that he's walking around without a boot. So his progression is going a lot faster than I was expecting, because if he showed up to Hard Knocks and he was wearing a boot and he was just listening in meetings, I was like, this is not good. But if he's able to practice quickly, then that's going to be a really good thing for the Lions. He needs to contribute fast. He really needs to contribute fast for the Lions. 7 dubs for the Lions. That's a fair number. I think the over under 6. I'm in 2 months. I'm gonna start breaking down all NFL teams. I'm gonna do. By the way, if you guys have any suggestions for these videos, but I'm planning on 3 wins. 3 things I like, followed by 3 things I don't like, then the Vegas over under. And this time I'm gonna show the schedule for each team and kind of go into some detail about the schedule. So how do you feel about Matt Ryan replacing Wentz in Indy, Dan? This is a big deal because I think it's a major improvement. And Matt Ryan's one of the most underrated quarterbacks in all of football. I think he's a guy that's going to walk into Canton. And this could be a really big deal. The Colts, with all the moves that went on in the AFC, this was really overlooked. But I think the Colts got significantly better at quarterback. And there's some talent at wide receiver. I thought they overdrafted Alex Pierce, but he'll be successful in that offense. They also overdrafted Jelani Woods, but he's a guy also who's going to have success in that offense. He needs to tighten some things up in his game. He's more athlete than player right now, but if he progresses fast, he could have a really big impact. Plus, Michael Pittman has all the talent in the world. He had 1,000 yards last year, so he could do a lot better. And then Jonathan Taylor, just all talent in the world. Fine, we agree. We 100% agree on this. Yeah. Whoa, I'm a happily married man, so I'm at the bow of any threesomes with 2 other dudes. So okay, well, I won't touch that. Stevie, what's her Twitter? I'll follow you unless you don't want to say it publicly. Look, since he has followed me, he should be put something on my Twitter. If nothing else. Man, we can all talk about George Pickens, so this guy might really be the steal of the draft. There was a lot of question marks, but I thought he went to the right place in Pittsburgh. It was kind of weird because they got a lot of receivers there, so he's not going to have to step into a starting role. James Washington never really panned out, but this is a guy who's going to be opposite of Deontay Thompson, and I'm drawing a complete blank on the guy out of Notre Dame. Let's look it up. I've drawn a blank twice on him, and I should not be forgetting his name. All the talent in the world is just Chase Claypool. And then don't forget they also got Anthony Miller. Anthony Miller was a guy I absolutely loved coming out of Memphis. I have no idea why things haven't panned out for him in Chicago. And then they also drafted Calvin Austin III. So they got some weapons there in Pittsburgh. So Pickens is not going to be in a situation where he has to come in and be a day one starter. However, it would not surprise me if he ends up being a day one starter in Pittsburgh. And they're going to run a lot of 3 wide receiver sets because you can have Pickens and Claypool on the outside, Deontay Johnson on the inside doing all sorts of creative stuff. Dan, am I going to No. My buddy Mike, he says he listens to the show. He was supposed to text me today. We're going to do some lunch. He did not, but he had some plans for us doing a draft special at a local bar. I'm not really sure if I want to do that or not. I might be doing a draft special somewhere in Kansas City, but no, I'm gonna do my mock draft. We're gonna do my mock draft Wednesday, and I may be doing a live draft show somewhere in Kansas City. I may be doing it at home, but I'm not going to go. I live in Kansas City, but I may be doing something special. Over under for the Lions is 6.5 right now. That's strange because I could have sworn it was 6. That could be fluctuating. Last time I looked, it was 6, so it's 6.5. When I do the video, I'm going to use Caesars Sportsbook and whatever they have it that day. But if Caesars is at 6.5, it was at 6. But how did the Lions get a C-? Well, we talked about that quite a bit earlier. Pascal, I thought it was a big time reach. The safety that you took out Illinois, the NFL Network gave him a 5th round grade. I didn't really like that pick. And the reason why you could have drafted Leo Chenal instead. Leo Chenal would be a day one starter, drafted the guy who's probably a backup. I didn't like trading up 20 spots to get a guy who's not going to start day one. I know that John Dorsey, my nose itches, it's not cocaine. John Dorsey likes to trade down and get draft picks. And last year, you guys had a lot of success in the draft. Every single player you drafted made the team and contributed. I thought you needed more draft picks, not less draft picks. You did win the trade compensation battle if you used the draft tech chart. Now, the Rich Hill chart that we talked about earlier is a little different, but the draft tech chart, you made out like bandits from the Minnesota Vikings. And that's what I used to break down the draft grade. But compared to the Jets had 2 picks in the first round, 2 picks in the second round. They're getting 4 day one starters. Lions are getting 1. And I don't like that at all. This is a team that needs to get better, and I think they need to get better fast. Now, Funk will tell you that Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes are not on the hot seat. I'm telling you that they are, because if you win 3 games again, 1 or 2 of those guys are getting fired. Now, I do expect the Lions to be better, but I thought it was a major mistake to trade up 20 spots in the draft for a guy who's not going to contribute day one. Even if you drafted him healthy at 12, I didn't like the pick. I thought the Lions should have got a lot more draft capital. Bottom line, the Jets are in the same situation. They get 4 day one starters and a tight end who's going to contribute right away. Lions, same boat. They're getting 1 day one starter. That's not a good thing. This is a team that really needed some help, and I don't think they really got it. Next year, One Pride, instead of doing a video where we can't really go over back and forth, I'm going to do a live draft show, and we're gonna just be able to talk about this a lot more open. So I apologize for not going over. I went over some detail earlier in the show. He dropped because of low production, some attitude problems, but if he can stay in line and he's on the field, he's going to be so good. I absolutely, and I apologize, I'm behind on comments, but yeah, George Pickens had some attitude problems, goes to a perfect place in Pittsburgh, and he wasn't low production, he was injured. But when he was healthy, he produced, and at national championship game, he had a good game. So there's an injury issue. There's some immaturity issue. He got some penalties due to being overly physical. Place like Pittsburgh, that's perfect. Is it steal to draft? I wouldn't say it's a steal to draft, but I really liked it. I gave Pittsburgh a B+. Love Ryan to Indy in the Dome, well-coached team, and good drafts. Yeah, I think that's a really underrated move the Colts got a lot better with Matt Ryan. And bottom line, they beat Jacksonville last game of the season. They get in the playoffs. And Jonathan Taylor, I mean, that guy played like a monster. I would not expect him to lead the NFL by 500 yards in rushing again, but you never know. Yeah, okay, I can't pronounce that, but yeah, I'm glad you found. Yeah, Denver Gator posts some good stuff on Twitter. Julio will reunite with Ryan in Indy. Book it would make sense. It would make sense, but they do got Alex Pierce. He could be a day one starter. Plus Michael Pittman's got a world of potential. If Goff is trash, Lions will be in position to get a quarterback next year. I'm torn between wins and my dislike. Well, you know what? You're going to have 2 first-round picks, and it wouldn't surprise me if you guys make some moves to try to get extra draft capital. But I've already looked at mock drafts, and there's several quarterbacks. You got C.J. Stroud out of Ohio State. Bryce, the Alabama quarterback, could be back-to-back Heisman Trophy winner. I'm telling you right now, Alex Van Dyke, that my University of Miami quarterback, my mock drafts already have him going like top 10. That guy is going to be a stud. The arm talent's crazy. There's a few other quarterbacks, and then there's always one guy that just comes out of nowhere. But yeah, this is going to be a good year for quarterbacks. I don't say much about Denver, I do remember tweeting about that creepy Subway vid Wilson did. I actually don't remember that, but he's done a lot of stuff with the Denver community. Denver loves him right now. I had a hard time. Pickens had an issue with fights on the field and practice, but if he went to the right place in Pittsburgh, That's awesome. Man, I love connecting people on social media. Their tight end didn't look bad last year. You talking about the Steelers? Yeah, I'm drawing a complete blank on his name. Went to Penn State. Really, really good player. Hold on, I still got the depth chart pulled up. Pat Freiermuth. I'm butchering the name. He was the guy that Ben Roethlisberger really looked to in clutch time situations last year. So that was really, really interesting. Hopefully Howie gets in contact with James Bradbury, him and Darius Day would be. There's a lot of teams interested in Bradbury. It's salary cap move, and I'm kind of worried about what the Giants are going to do in their secondary. But, it's going to be interesting where Bradbury goes. I love Pickens, and I question his route tree. Was it limited by scheme or by him? But, yeah, he has an attitude problem, but I like nasty. I couldn't have said any better myself. Again, we're agreeing, so hell's freezing over right now. Part of it was the injuries. Part of it was Georgia's offense. They just had a run-based offense. They had 2 really good running backs, a massive offensive line. They didn't really ask their quarterback to do much. And they had it's been a long time since I've seen a college football defense as good as Georgia. So, that's awesome. I love connecting people on social media, man. Pickens under Tomlin attitude will be adjusted, not be an issue. Pittsburgh, he's a small pitch and very large talented pool. It'll be interesting to see what happens. It'll be really interesting to see what happens. He could end up in their 3 wide receivers set. He could be one of the starters outside. So if Charlie Sheen taught me anything, it shouldn't believe a cokehead when they say is. My nose is really itching now. It's not cocaine. All I know is Hurts is going to come out with a chip on his shoulder, wanting to prove himself. I think this season will be very different, especially having a very truly competent receiving core. It's going to be very interesting to see what Hurts does. He's definitely a guy who's on the hot seat because you have 2 first-round picks that Philly has. You spent $100 million on a wide receiver that you traded a first-round pick for. You still got Jalen Reagor. That's the name I couldn't remember. You got essentially 3. Well, we'll call A.J. Brown a first-round pick because they traded for him. But you got 3 first-round picks. Put up or shut up. You got plenty of talent. Eagles are an interesting team. Starting quarterback in fantasy football, that's a good pick. Dude helped me win my league. That's awesome, man. If I wanted a big play wide receiver, and Pascal will play a lot more this year than you think he will. Okay. Even if he plays more than I think he will, it was a reach. It was. I mean, it's not debatable that it was a reach. But when you say that he's going to be a 5 technique and on the edge, which the NFL Network said he was, I thought he'd be a 3-4 edge. Now, if he's a day one starter, I still stand by my C- grade, but it makes things a lot better. But he doesn't. I don't think he is, and that's not a good thing. So, but I hope he does, man. I mean, I'm pulling for you guys. I really am pulling for you guys. I know I come across as anti-Lion. That's not the case. Actually, I'd love to see a Lions do well. Man, taking a guy at 46 who's not going to start, that's a bad move, man. AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert, speed guys, Quez Watkins out of spot, easily a top 10 receiving core with an able QB. Maybe stretching because I need to see more from Smith. I mean, did decent. Dallas Goedert played really, really well. Quez Watkins is a guy I do like. Does Rager finally become that first round talent? I hated the Vikings draft. I have no idea what they were doing trade wise. And the Lions, I thought, got a really good deal. But the other trade that they lost on is they traded up to 42. And I love the player they got. They got that corner out of Clinton, Andrew Booth. But here, hold on here. Now I'm using the draft tech chart, which is a little different. Let me see here. Where is it? Okay, here it is. Okay, so 42 and 122, so it's 530. In Indianapolis, got pick number 53. They used on Alex Pierce, 77, which they used on the Central Michigan tackle, maybe your day one starter at tackle. I thought maybe the best pick one of my favorite picks in the draft. Then pick 192, a value of 588. That was a massive win for the Colts, especially if they get Alex Pierce as starting wide receiver, Bernard Raymond, who's a starting left tackle at 33, then they definitely won that trade. But yeah, they gave up a lot. And Andrew Booth may be a day one starter at corner, but I actually had Booth rated higher than Cine, so I didn't get that. So if Clemson can get their O-line in order, DJ Smith can make a big step in the first round. Yeah, that's another guy could step back in the first round. Yeah, that's his name. Funky Lions fan, Jackson Smith Nagba. He had 1,600 yards last season. I know he set that record in the Rose Bowl, something crazy. I don't think he's 6'4", though, but he's a guy that is going to get a first round grade probably. Could be a guy for you in 2023. I really like Pratt. I did too. I thought Steelers got a steal late in the second round. Quarterbacks from Kentucky and Miami are sleepers from next year's draft. Just nobody's talking about them. Just as much as I can't stand those teams, I can't deny that quarterback out of Miami is amazing. The quarterback out of Kentucky, I don't know too much about, but I'm going to start doing some research on him because he's already being mentioned as top 10 pick. Yeah, it was that Rose Bowl game. Yeah. Oh no, he's yeah. He's a stud, but he's not 6'4". Yeah. Almost got Chuck Clark for Jalen Reagor. Man, if Howie put off, it would have been the ultimate fleece for us. I'm hopeful that if I was an Eagles fan, I need Jalen Reagor to live up to that first round billing. So yeah, you did. That's the reason why I didn't give you guys a D plus. That's why you guys didn't get a D plus because I thought you robbed the Vikings. So Slasher, we pulled off the ultimate fleece. I thought you did. Hate to break in Clemson fans, but Clemson will be borderline irrelevant the next 2 years. Coaching staff under Dabo is gone. They may have been the backbone of that team. What did yours do? I'm missing something. Oh, he's talking about, okay, so the trade, the trade that really I thought was a brilliant move is they traded up for number 12, but the Vikings also threw in pick number 46. What the Lions gave up was 32, 34, and 66. If using the draft tech chart, is the Lions got 1640 and the Minnesota Vikings received 1410, which the 2/3 remainder is a high third round pick. Normally, when you move up 20 spots in a draft, I I honestly, when they moved up 20 spots in the draft, I knew it was going to be 32 and 34. When I heard it's 66, I was like, man, the Lions are giving up a lot. But when I heard that they're getting 46 in return, I'm like, what the fuck are the Vikings thinking? And I think it's a move. I really think that teams targeted Minnesota after that because the Lions made a move. I'm sorry, not the Lions. The Colts also made a move. It was really weird. The Packers made a move also to trade up. That's how they got Christian Watson. So, yeah. I think next year teams are going to be calling Minnesota a lot. Minnesota made a lot of draft moves. I like the players that they got. Andrew Booth may end up being the day one starter, same with Louis Cine. But the one thing about Cine is I pictured more of a strong safety type. They already got a strong safety, so I was a little confused about that. But Pascal will play everything from a 3 to wide 9 this year, and they'll play him at 9 on run down, move him inside on pass. He's going to play a lot. And if I'm wrong, you can remind me I'm wrong. Funk, man, I always love your opinion, man. The one thing that I always say is that it's great that we can. You said that, so I like the player. I don't like taking him at 46, man. I would have been, if you guys took him at 66, I still would have said it was a reach. Well, maybe reach is too strong of a word, but I pictured an outside linebacker, and let's bring up the Lions. I'm going to use ESPN. I know ESPN's not the best when it comes to Lions depth chart, but let's just use ESPN. So here's the thing. Okay, I should have used Ourlads, but let's use ESPN. Okay, they got Okura. The ESPN has you guys as a 4-3. So all right, but anyway, you got Okura and Hutchinson. Now I thought Charles Harris could have been a starter. All right, so here's kind of what I thought your defense would look like. You'd have McNeil as your defensive tackle or nose tackle. Ozarike is your defensive tackle, and you have Brockers as one of your ends. Those are who I was hoping your 3 starters would be. Then I pictured you would have Okura as an outside linebacker, Hutchinson as an outside linebacker, and then Brockers would be out on passing type situations. You move Hutchinson and Okura as starters. Now, I don't see where Pascal would be able to play some right away. Now, if you're planning on having Pascal replace Brockers, if he does that this year, and then you have Pascal moving and playing some of that 5 technique instead of Brockers, he's got to put on some weight. I don't think he's going to put on 40 pounds in an offseason, but if that's the case, I still would question the pick. But, I mean, long-term, it could still be good, but is he going to replace Okura or Harris? But anyway, I'm really looking forward to Hard Knocks, and I'm going to pay attention to that front 7 and how they're going to use those guys. So I'm looking at ESPN, but ESPN has them as a 4-3. They don't run a 4-3, so I'm not worried about where the kids are on the depth chart right now coming into preseason. Yeah, we'll talk about preseason. Then you have Charles Harris and Okura. Reaches in the exactly, and that's the whole thing about my draft video. It's just my opinion. I'm not a draft expert, but my videos 2 months from now, that is my expert opinions, and the reason why I call them expert opinions because I'm going to put some money down on those opinions, and my over unders for the year, I will make a profit, and I'm going to come out with some 101 videos on how to bet on football. For those of you who do not do sports betting, I'm going to come out with a 101 on how to bet on a game, and I'm going to do a little 101 video on how to bet on over-unders for the years, and hopefully I'll have those out. I don't have a time frame. I don't have a time frame, but hopefully by the end of the month, definitely. And then I'll have those videos come out maybe before the end of the season, maybe re-release them or something, maybe come out with some different ones. I don't know. I know I'm the only Broncos fan here, but you guys have to find a Broncos schedule release vid from yesterday. Russell is an intern for the Peyton Manning with a Scooter LA cameo. Boot, it was really good. I'll give you credit. It was really good. The best one, though, the Chargers came out with an anime one that was really good. The Chargers had an anime one, which was fantastic. Denver had a really good one. There was another one with I think one with Eli Manning. But yeah, the one with the Broncos was really, really good. Russell Wilson picks up the phone. Mike Roch. Is there a Mike? Yeah, it was pretty good. It was really good. It was really good. Slasher both play outside linebacker. Pascal will play a 3-tech on pass downs, while Hutch and Harris play outside linebacker. Bryant, Julian on the bubble. Both are leftovers from the last regime. I know that you like Pascal, but I mean, will you at least agree with me he was a reach at 46? I mean, you could have gone him at 66. So we got 4 starters in the draft plus our 6th-round linebacker. Okay. Rodriguez is going to be a special team team, and he's not going to start. You got 4 starters? No, you did not. Okay. Let's go over this. Jameson Williams is not going to start day 1. Pascal's not going to start day 1. Your safety that you got is that Kirby Joseph. He's not going to start day 1. So I see 1 day 1 starter. And Rodriguez is not going to start. Great 6th-round pick. He's going to make the team, and he's going to be a special teams team, and he's not going to start. You didn't get 4 starters. You got 1 day 1 starter. So, and Romeo may be in worse shape than we know. He's the only injury guy we haven't seen anything about. Pride Rodriguez start. That's not good for the linebacker rooms. Yeah. He's not going to start. You're going to love this kid. If you're a Lions fan and you're watching this and you don't know anything about this kid, he was a former safety, just a tackling machine. You're going to love this guy. 6th-round pick. Should have gone probably in the 4th, maybe 5th. Not a starter, but you're going to love him on special teams. May be able to play in some passing situations. You're going to love this kid. You're going to love this kid. All right, guys, look, it's been over 2 hours. I'm going to go over this one more time. If I was going to place action down, there's 5 games I would put action down on, and I'm going to give you those 5 games. All of these, I didn't realize it at the time, but all these are 5 road favorites, or 4 road favorites and 1 road underdog here, but I'm going to give those to you again one more time. Wait a minute. Oh, okay, hold on. All right, so I'm going to give you an order of the Caesar Sports app, okay? New England traveling to Miami, 3-point underdog. I like the Patriots in this one. I think they win this game outright. They break that Miami curse. Remember, Miami has a rookie head coach. I expect New England to win this game. I'm still going to take the 3 points. Excuse me. Baltimore, 4.5-point favorite at the Jets. This is going to move up probably to 6, but it's already moved up from 4 to 4.5. I expect it to be 6. If it's 5 or less, I'm going to take Baltimore. Kansas City at Arizona. Kansas City's a 3-point favorite. Andy Reid, 8-1 season openers. If this stays at 3 or less, take Kansas City. Remember, Arizona starts the season without DeAndre Hopkins. Also like Green Bay to beat Minnesota, 1.5-point favorites. I mean, 1-2 points. Tampa Bay, 2.5-point favorite going to Dallas. These are 5 games. I may do like a little parlay action. Haven't even touched over unders. A lot of things are going to change now between now and the next of the season. So, but I really like these 5 games. I'm happy with having 2 starters. We also got the backup center and the guy Kelsey is going to teach, so probably end up being a stud too. Yeah, I really like that Juergens guy. There's a possibility he may be a starter at guard. But bottom line, Jordan Davis is not going to be like a every down type of guy right away. But when Fletcher Cox leaves after the season, then that's his replacement. He's going to be really, really good. Juergens is going to be a stud. I don't know if he's going to play guard this year or not. Plus, you also end up getting A.J. Brown, a Pro Bowl wide receiver. Perfect fit for 2 other guys on the outside because A.J. Brown, big, strong guy. Devontae Smith, tall, skinny. Jalen Reagor, it's kind of weird because I remember him coming out TCU at like 5'11", 210 with really good speed, but he plays so much smaller. I don't know what happened, but if he steps up, your team's dangerous. So Remember, I was right on staff. You'll be right. Okay, 4 starters. Okay, we'll hold you to it. And you were right on Stafford. You were right. Thumbs up. Leave it. Yes, yes. Thank you very much. Yes, please give me a thumbs up. Leave a comment. And I can't say Pascal was a reach because after the trade, the Lions had picked 97, so the next 50 hit to hope he fall. No, exactly. But if you didn't trade up for Williams and you just stayed at 232 and 34 and 66, you could have got him at 66. Pascal, bottom line, I honestly have seen a lot of mock drafts where he didn't even go in the top 3 rounds. So taking him early in the second, I think, is a reach. So, but he is a guy I like. It's just, 46 is a reach. So, Pride, remember, I never disagreed with your Stafford. I'm getting tag teams here by Detroit. That's okay, guys. I really appreciate you guys coming in here. Next year, when I do my draft special, I'm going to do it live, and we can go back and forth on the air. Doing the video, in hindsight, was a big mistake. Man, Rager needs to work out a slot. I don't know what the hell. I honestly thought that they were going to move him draft day. I really did. It wouldn't surprise me if he ends up being gone. I really agree with that. I don't know what it is, but I wouldn't be surprised if he's not on the team day one. But if he is on the team, he needs to live up that first round status. Have a good night, everyone. Okay, I'm going to end it on that. Guys, thank you so much. I can't thank you guys enough for joining the show. Even if you disagree with me, please join the show. I have no problem saying I'm wrong. And I like to think that I don't rub it in if I get something right that you don't. If I do, I can be a dick. Just tell me I'm a dick. I don't have a problem with that. This is never going to be a show where everybody has to agree with me. It's just I just want to grab people from 32 fan bases that just want to talk football, and that's my goal, and that's the goal I have here. So give me a thumbs up. I am out of here fast. That is true. That is true, but I still think I still think it was a massive reach in the upper half of the second round. But man, I'll see you next. God. Ooh. I'll see everybody back Friday.